From what if machines replace us, to what do we do now that they already are? 6 years on, the thought experiment became an economic reality. Everybody has some level of anxiety over what our AI future will look like. Somewhere between Skynet and a post-scarcity utopia, the most immediate concern for most people is that this technology will end up doing their job better than they can. So far, one side of the argument points out that big new technologies in the past have only ever made economies wealthier, and whatever jobs they replace, they end up making more, better jobs somewhere else. The other side argues that, yeah, sure, when we replaced our muscles with machinery in the past, it let us leverage our minds, which are clearly what humans have invested most of our evolutionary traits into. But if machines replace that, what else do we have left to offer? Now, nobody can predict the future, least of all economists. But we don't really need to, because there are certain economies that are going to see the widespread impacts of these changes well before most others. In fact, they kind of already are. In places like the Philippines and Bangladesh, the threat of AI is much more imminent. A threat to jobs, to entire industries, and to the economic growth they've spent decades building. These economies have spent the last 30 years constructing entire industries around outsourced service work. Things like call centres, data entry, transcription, and basic software support. These jobs were once considered safe from automation because they required language skills, context, and that special human touch that machines just couldn't replace. Well, it turns out machines got a lot better at replicating that human touch. Tools like LLMs can now handle those tasks in seconds at a fraction of the cost, and these jobs, which make up a big share of GDP in many developing countries, are looking like they might be the first dominoes to fall. In the Philippines, the IMF estimates that a staggering 89% of outsourced service jobs are at high risk of being automated by AI. That's over 1 million people whose jobs could disappear in just a few years. In other words, AI is already making the world's richest countries even richer, and is making it harder for everybody else to catch up. And that's just the beginning of the story. Even in rich countries, AI is starting to divide the economy into those who can leverage it and those who are going to get replaced by it. The US Bureau of Labour Statistics predicts that roles like cashiers, bank tellers, postal staff, and customer service representatives are all on track to shrink.